Hi, this is Larry Happy Day, bringing you our usual Monday morning motivation. We want to apologize that we had technical problems that prevented us from being able to reach you in the last couple of weeks. We have sorted them out now, and we hope that we don't have a repeat of this kind of problem again. So let's say we are very sorry for the break. This morning, we want to resume by discussing a very important thing, very important attribute of anyone who wants to succeed in life. And this attribute is something that many of us do not have in good abundance. The topic of today is listening carefully, or careful listening. Careful listening. What do we mean by listening? To start with, listening is a skill that many people, all of us are blessed with. Listening is a skill just like speaking. Many people in the world, majority of people in the world are able to hear with their ears when sounds are being uttered. That is what generally is referred to as listening. However, we know that when people listen, there are other attributes that make for good listening, that make for good comprehension, and then lead to better understanding. And those are the issues that we'll be talking about in the next couple of lessons in this series, coming to you from my Happy Day Sussex Academy. And I wish you the very best in your endeavors in the weeks ahead. Let's start with listening carefully. I want to take my quotation from the Bible, the students' edition of the Bible, which is entitled from the chapter from Job, chapter 21, verses 1 and 2. And it says, "Then Job replied to his friends, 'Listen carefully to my words, and let that be the comfort you offer me.'" Now, listen carefully to my words, and let that be the comfort you offer me. We know the story of Job very well. Job was in distress. He lost his family. He lost everything he had, lost all his wealth when he was going through the rough patches of life, like many of us are going through now, like many of us will go through in future. There is a time when that happens. Anyway, that's not what we are discussing this morning. We are talking about listening. Rather than his friends listening to him to understand what he was complaining about or to understand what he was going through, they themselves jumped into conclusions. Jumping into conclusions is something that many of us do, and we need to be very careful, because when you jump into conclusions, you miss the big part of the communication process that may lead you into safety, that may lead you into success, that may lead you into prosperity. I therefore encourage you to be a good listener. Now, in this series, we'll be talking about listening from different dimensions. What are the things that make for good listening? Who is a good listener? When we listen, what are the activities we do? And many other questions will be answered in this series. I want to start by saying and exciting you and tickling your fancy by saying that when we listen with our eyes, we listen with our ears, we listen with everything that we have. If you find that curious, how can somebody listen with his eyes? Then keep in touch with the next edition of this series, which is Careful Listening Part 2. I thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to discussing these other questions that arise from the issue of careful listening in the next editions that will come our way. For now, thank you very much. Good morning. Have a beautiful week ahead. And I look forward to meeting you again next week. Bye-bye. God bless you.